Hello and welcome to episode 4 of our series of Blades in the Dark. If you've missed any previous episodes, there'll be a link on screen for you to go to the playlist to watch any ones you need to catch up on. Today we are going to be joining Claudia and Carrie Ann, and we will come in finding out what they've been up to since the last time we saw them.
I have been working very hard on fitting out my lab, which has been difficult because there have been some incredibly distracting noises going on in this house while that's been happening. There has obviously been some kind of major work done because I have heard banging, I have heard drilling, and that's just coming from Claudia's room.
Well,
For some reason...
that's not a drill that you're hearing, Carrie Ann.
For some reason, Mr. Whitlock and his young protege came back the other day and they absolutely stank of horse, and I have no idea why, and I don't wish to find out. But if they are keeping a horse in here, then they better not let it in the lab. Also, some poor young woman called Jenna knocked on my door. She said that she'd heard I was a doctor and could I perhaps prescribe her something to help her forget things that have happened to her. And I couldn't help her, but I did send her Mathilda's way because that's really more her area. But she did also, actually, she did tell me that the young man had said to her that she might perhaps need to be accompanied home and wouldn't be able to go by herself, so maybe I'll prescribe him something instead.
Wonderful. Claudia, what have you been up to?
I don't know how to follow that up. I didn't want it to end. I was enjoying the story too much.
And like the training that you did, like, no, it's fine. Claudia.
I have been obviously making sure that our gangs, like the people, well, not that they know about us because we don't want heat, but you know how we established that there's an Instagram, but it's just it's a pinboard. I've been making sure that we've been regularly updating the gang Instagram. We're also working on a nice socially area so that we can entertain potential contacts.
Yep.
And it's going to be cool, and so that if we go on like this universe's version of Cribs, it's going to be sick, I guess. Does that a reference people understand now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Is Zola here? For Zola's here, maybe not.
Surely Cribs is still a thing.
No, I don't think it is. What else have I done?
I'm going to go lie down.
I refuse to address the noises coming from my room. But
Oh no, you
I'm
carry on. We've all got work to do. I respect it.
Fun project in the
And-
future of soundproofing Claudia's room.
That's a horrible thought. I'm so sorry, everyone. Oh yeah, I've been training in prowess, so I can fight things now. A little bit. Not very good. Just a little bit of fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I saw Mathilda clock a guy with a gun and was like, you know what, I want to do that.
Nice. What are you two up to in the house?
I heard that Claudia was interested in the leeches, and so I have invited her into my lab in progress so that she can meet the leeches.
Can I get bled? I know I'm weird, but that would be cool.
If you would like to do that, and once the lab is finished and everything is sanitary, then
I'm
yeah.
making a bleeding appointment. Just for fun.
Absolutely. If that's what you would like to do, Claudia, then you are more than welcome.
What's some good leech names? Do they have names?
They don't as yet. If you want to name them.
What's a good name for a leech?
Carry on.
Yes, Carrie Ann is an excellent name. Mr. Squishy.
Oh, Mr. Squishy.
That
Squishy.
that one. Yeah, Mr. Squishy. That one. The particularly squishy looking one. That's Mr.
Oh.
Squishy.
Peach the leech.
That
That sounds a bit rude. That sounds like it. It sounds like it could mean something.
Please don't peach my leech. Not without asking first, anyway. If you're going to peach somebody's leech, you must get consent.
Consent is paramount.
Also has suggestions for Basil, Suck and Steve, and Barry. The Leech Boys.
Fucking Steve. Yeah, okay, yeah. So Brian, Suckin' Steve, and Barry. Yep.
Alongside Peach and Mr. Squishy.
Mr. Squishy. Oh my god. Mr. Squishy's already my favourite.
Oh. I'll reserve him for you for when you come for your appointment.
Yeah, Mr. Squishy is my leech of choice.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it started out with a bite and drinking your blood. How did it end up like this?
Did anyone expect to hear these sentences today? Or
I mean, look, the thing that I learned from last time is I can't, nothing I can imagine will be as weird as what actually happens.
Mr. Squishy. I can't stop thinking about Mr. Squishy. He's so cute. I've never seen him. I want a plush of him.
Aww. Oh.
No,
That's the next
serious.
long-term project.
Yeah. Marketable.
Mr.
Mr.
Squishy.
Yeah. I was going to say if we get to 5 million followers by the end of today, we'll give out some free Mr. Squishy plushies. We'll get them made. Only 4,999,790 something to go.
Quick maths.
Thanks. Cool. So as you're being introduced to Mr. Squishy and Peach and Barry and Basil and Brian, you're not sure which one's the real one, and Suck and Steve, collectively the Leech Boys, you hear a very familiar knock at the door. Hello, is anyone around today?
Oh,
It'd be awkward if we
no,
just
it's
stayed
not-
quiet. Should we hide under the table and pretend we're not home?
Duck down, Claudia. You might not see us. Is this Eli again? What does he want this time? If you hold the leeches, I'll go and out the door and tell him that we don't want any.
It depends what Eli looks like, but okay.
Oh. Wait, did we cover what Eli looks like
Yeah,
In
what
an
does
ear-
Eli look like?
in an earlier one?
Yeah, we did.
You're just not going to tell me? You're not going to remind me because I've forgotten.
I'm gonna assume not good because otherwise you'd remember.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's kind of mid-50s. I mean, not bad, but not like average looking. Basically, if you want the high level summary.
He's on the maybe. The
Okay,
maybe list.
I go and fling the door open
Like,
and
you could probably do better.
demand to know what he wants. What do you want this time?
Ah, wonderful, Carrie Ann.
It's leeches.
Yes, that's right. It's me.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. Well, I have another mission for you. As
Oh,
as
good.
I'm sure you have heard. Your friends. Well, I don't know if I'm making assumptions as saying your friends, but let's say your friends. Hayward and Mittens found the last key. Now,
They.
indeed, they did. They also made quite a scene and burnt down a house. So I did say
now,
to try and make it look
now it
less
makes sense.
specifically targeted. You know, it's trying to avoid someone getting onto our scent. They may have taken that a little bit too far, and there we go. But anyway, they have found the last key. But of course, the key isn't much use without a lock.
And
And the thing they lock, I believe I know where it is. So, again, if you want some coin, and as always, anything else you can pick up along the way, then we can let you know where the thing is that it unlocks.
okay. Well, I don't know if Claude is listening. I'm listening. Where is the where's the thing that it unlocks?
It's a very interesting background, actually. Tell me, how familiar are you with the local pantheon?
Not especially.
Are you asking me as well?
Yes.
I mean, if I'm ever on my knees or mentioning God, it's not because I'm praying.
I see. So, one of the gods used to have a temple here, in this very city. In the main pantheon, there were sort of the messenger god and sort of god of travel and such things. In fact, a half deer called Hermes. They were they were worshipped here. Now, including some very interesting and very old temples, which can actually be found under the city. Now, as you may be familiar with, the Sector of the Flame like to dig up old sites, old places, and like to find bits of history that they can, and such things. I mean, really, it's just been a front for racketeering and such, but you know, it's they use that to find new things that they can sell. They of course have been digging under the city for quite a while, to try and find new things, and I've actually found a temple, and all of my research tells me that all of these items that we've managed to gather unlock a box in the temple. Now, it's tinged with magic to some degree. It's very fascinating. Hopefully we'll get a chance to study it in more detail. So it's kind of smaller than it seems like it should be, and probably lighter given what its contents potentially are. It's almost like a sort of briefcase, slightly thicker than a sort of briefcase, but it's that kind of size. It might not have a handle on it, though. You might have to just carry it. But very possible to get in, take box, leave. They obviously won't take very kindly to you breaking into one of their dig sites. So they will not be very happy with that. And you will have to go through one of their sort of smaller hangouts. That's not the right word. Little base type thing. I can't think what the word is. You know what I mean? They've got their main HQ, but they've also got a few other random buildings around. They basically use those as a front, and they dig down below them and connect up in like tunnels below. And the easiest way is probably through one of those. You could just go through the HQ if you wanted to go through that, but I mean that's obviously much heavier guarded and much more people to stop you. So I would assume we'd go through one of the. I say we. You. I assume you would go through one of them, but don't let me tell you how to do your job, of course. And from there, go down and find your way to a temple. Find a box there and leave. I mean, it sounds very simple, doesn't it? I'm sure you'll have no problem.
Well, I assume that you can give us the locations of some of these buildings that they use as their outposts?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And it's about the size of the briefcase, you say?
Yes. Yes, so a little bit wider than the briefcase. The briefcase is quite narrow, a little bit wider, but kind of to about the same size. A bit wider there. But...
Okay. What do you think, Claudia?
It sounds less fun than a party, but yeah, maybe.
Okay. Let's see if we can go and retrieve this thing without burning anything down and getting people killed.
Wonderful.
And dressing up as a horse unnecessarily.
Yes.
I
Or
know if I
any people.
dress myself up as a piece of archaeology and lie on the floor. That's
I mean, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but I hope that was not a serious suggestion.
Methods, Eli. We're doing the work. If Claudia wants to dress up as archaeology, then she shall.
Quite.
Unless you'd like to dress up with Mr. Squishy. I grab Mr. Squishy and brandish Mr. Squishy in Eli's face.
No. Well, I best be off anyway. I'll meet you back here later.
Yes, I think that.
Hopefully,
That's, don't you?
see-
Bye, Ben, and then
see
I
you
slam the door in his face.
Wonderful.
I'm sorry, Mr. Squishy. I'm so sorry.
Oh. Does he want to go back in his little
put him
jar?
back with the
I've got a little
Yeah.
jar.
put
Mr.
him
Squishy.
back.
Night night for Mr. Squishy. I'll put the leeches back. So this is what sleep deprivation looks like, huh?
So, like a few, maybe a couple of minutes after you close the door, you hear the post box having something posted through, which essentially is just a little map of 6 towers, which is where they're based, with 3 buildings kind of marked as possible options to go in through.
Are we familiar with, like, we've been here a little bit now. Are we familiar with the area and the buildings?
Yeah. So, I mean, none of them really stand out as being kind of significantly different. The one kind of nearest you kind of recognise as being basically a big old manor house that was turned into a lot of very small, like, apartment buildings that has been... It's kind of quite crowded, and it's sort of in... They basically kind of have some of the apartments and then taken over the basement and use that as an option. There's one which is basically just an old abandoned manor house that they've just kind of moved into. Basically the same as what you've done here. And one of them is more like more like an old tower. It's quite small. It is kind of to the edge of 6 towers. It's quite small, but yeah, it's just kind of an old tower building.
Okay. Do we need to pick one?
I mean, yeah. I'm trying to work out what the alternative would be.
I mean now. Like now.
Oh, not necessarily, no.
Okay. Alright. Well, we could go, like, have a look at them. See what people there are.
Sure.
And then pick one. See if we can get an archaeologist costume.
Yeah, make it some kind of role for it. Why not?
Oh no. for the theology costume. What do we have to roll?
Oh, sorry, for kind of scouting out locations and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not for the archaeology.
Well, okay, I could study the buildings with my keen eye of studying, that likes to study stuff.
Makes sense.
Okay. Alright then. It's 2.
Claudia, are you gonna roll?
Right. So, I mean, I can try, but I have no points in any, like, surveillance type things. So are these people, these archaeologist-y people, really unapproachable?
Yeah, you wouldn't really want to let them know that you're thinking about.
So you wouldn't want to pretend like you were just super interested?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't want to accidentally join a cult or something.
What about if there were people, because there's lots of buildings in Six Towers, what if there are people who live in the immediate vicinity who see the comings and goings? Perhaps they might be more approachable.
Potentially.
Yeah, if I could try and get the information out of someone who maybe sees a lot. Is there anyone that sees a lot? I'll just roll.
Yeah, make a roll for
Yeah.
a thing.
I like to consort, so I'm gonna consort. Not that it makes a difference. I have the same in sway, so. But yeah. Oh well, I rolled a 2 and a 4, so it's a 4.
All right. Fair enough. Sort of in the area, then makes sense to say you're kind of aware of a little, not really a pub, nothing that official, but a place that people kind of gather and drink a lot. And obviously, it's not much in the way of blue coats there. That you know a couple of people around there. If I've been in the area and you kind of chat to them, see what they know about these different buildings, and there's some red herrings, so it doesn't sound like you're just trying to find out specifically about this gang in case anyone's overhearing. From what you gather, out of all of them, the kind of apartments that has the most kind of footfall going in and out, and a lot of the people who live there aren't necessarily members of the Circle of the Flame, but they are in some sense indebted or kind of pay money to them, so they might function as additional people who might want to stop you breaking in. But in terms of security, obviously they are apartment buildings people come and go from, so there's kind of the most people there to stop you, but probably the lowest kind of physical security. The tower, on the other hand, not much in the way of comings and goings, probably the fewest people there to stop you, but probably the most physical barriers to stop you, and then the kind of house somewhere in the middle.
What do we think? I don't like the sound of being lots of people because that's not my area. But if there are physical barriers, that might be, I don't know, might be all right.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, yeah, because you can do the physical barrier thing.
Better than the people barriers.
Does it mean there will be like the tower would have like actual security guards though, or? Oh, he'll be fine. Do you think tower?
It'll be fine. Let's go tower.
That sounds exciting
Tower.
as well. Tower sounds fun.
Cool.
Yes.
In which case, this feels like a reasonable time to start thinking about an engagement role. Let's just say, in terms of the quick little bit of information to help you decide. So from that you can decide, okay, let's go through the tower. You kind of make your way to that area, have a little bit of a look around. From what you can see, it's basically it's clearly quite an old building, right? That is up on a little mound that's kind of been probably artificially constructed to put a tower on. That's probably the equivalent of about 4 stories tall, not massively wide, as towers go. So it's just it's more like a little watchtower for the kind of immediate vicinity. At the bottom of that mound then is some old walls with like one gate on it that's currently closed and locked. And the walls themselves be about 10 feet high, and that's kind of around the bottom of it. And so, go over walls and then up into the tower. In terms of what you can see, it's pretty dark. There's not really much in the way of activity that you can see. You kind of see the occasional little bit of light as someone with a lantern might kind of walk up the internal spiral staircase, and you might see that kind of flash past the window, but there's not happening very often. You're not really seeing much in the way of people. You've not seen anyone go in or out. I assume you've been kind of watching it covertly from nearby for a couple of hours or so. So, if we stick to that plan, how would you like to go in? We'll base the engagement roll on that.
Quietly.
Yeah, is it like a stealth kind of approach?
Stealthily.
Okay, so a stealth engagement.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Okay. So, obviously you get 1d for sheer luck, 1d6, 1 dice.
Thank you.
Does the plan's detail expose the vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
Probably not. It's not. Are they weakest in the tower? I don't know.
That one always confuses me. I don't know what the answer is.
So I don't know what their weaknesses are. If I did, I would exploit them.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation?
Mine can't.
I know a gang leader, but probably not.
Depends which gang they lead.
The Lamp Blacks, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, probably not them.
Yeah. No.
And is this operation particularly bold or daring?
Yeah. Why not? I think it is.
Yeah.
I always like the answer to that to be yes. So, 2d6 for engagement roll.
Yay.
Unfortunately, I haven't actually unpacked a new set of dice that I got.
I have.
Which
So
are bad.
shiny.
So
I'm gonna do the beauty influencer thing. Look. No, it's not working. Look at it. It's shiny.
I've got my pride dice, which you can maybe just about see the rainbowing, and just a random blue one. Let's see how terrible these go.
That definitely aren't covered in blood.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, they're so cool. I do have the the vampire?
Vampire kiss dice.
Yeah.
Now my Serena dice, I've got the D6 for that as well.
They are good. Yeah. My so my pride dice do have a history of rolling terribly, which is really awkward. So it rolled a 1. But the blue dice rolled a 4. So that's positive. So in terms of your approach to get through the wall, get kind of past into the tower, what are you going for?
Well, there was a locked gate, which I could have a go at unlocking. Are there any like buildings in the immediate vicinity that the building is higher than the wall around the tower?
Yeah, there's a couple of options that you could look at. They're not. There's a little bit of distance, so what would be the right amount of distance? Maybe like kind of sort of outside the wall, maybe about 50 meters to kind of nearest buildings. But there's a couple of options that then go higher than the wall. That if you want to take that approach, you could.
Okay. Maybe we try the gate first. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to ask. Sorry, one day I'll remember. Load. What's everyone going for?
I will go normal, I think.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I'm going normal as well.
Sounds good. All right. Yeah. So if you want to go unlock the gate, that's fine. What are you using to do that with?
I have my fine tinkering tools with me, which I would like to tinker with. Finally.
So we'll just kind of cover this on what we did in the engagement role for how well that goes. So in terms of like the entry point. It is fine. So you basically got two, like metal gates that open inwards probably, and it's basically just like a chain wrapped around with a big padlock on it. So tinker, tinker, tinker. Sorry, I don't know why I felt that. This is what lack of sleep is doing to me. Yes, unlock the padlock, take off the chain, opens out for you nicely. This is a. Oh no, we can flash back to this question, right? The question is, do you want to leave it unlocked, or do you want to lock it back after you so it looks the same?
Can we like artfully drape the chain around it so it looks as though it's still locked?
Yeah, I was going to say, can you do that thing where you hook it over the top, but it's not really locked? Like you could just unhook it.
Sure. Make a roll to see how well you fake lock a gate.
Should I do it?
I think you should do it based on what I can do.
I will delicately and with a great deal of finesse wrap the chain and the lock so that it looks as though it's as it was. I have a 5 and a 3.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. Seems like did a pretty good job. Cool. Well, so now, yeah, as I said, so as it stands, you can't really see any light on the tower currently. It's basically just up. It's quite steep. There's a little bit of a path that's kind of, carved out from people walking that functions enough that stairs it's easy enough to walk up. And then at the top, you've got a tower with a door. The front door is the only way you can kind of see in to the tower. The windows are more like the kind of, the old style slits, so they're kind of, like wide enough that you can see out of, but they're like, head wide.
Okay. No going in through the windows then. Alright. I guess it's the door then. I guess it's the door, Claudia. Let's head for the door. But like sneaky walking. That's what this is. And like eyes akimbo, looking for people just in case there's any peoples.
Yeah, I mean, being sensible, being careful. You can't see anyone. There's no kind of signs of activity by the point you reach the door. So you think you're pretty good to try and make your way in.
Okie dokie. Is the door locked?
Surprisingly, yes.
Okay. Can I try and unlock it?
Yeah, you can. How would you like to do that? You will have to roll for it, so...
I would like to use my tinkering tools, my handy tinkering tools, to very delicately and with lots of fine coordination, to do it like that. It's finesse, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I was trying to work out whether, because you also got 2 in Tinker, right, and like those 2
I
basically
do.
be the options, and both are valid, so I wasn't sure if you were like, I'm going to use my tinker tools to tinkeringly with this door, or I'm going to very finely finesse movements to finesse the door.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, whichever you prefer.
All right, let's just say finesse because I already said it. I have a 2 and a 4.
Cool. Well, you managed to find the point to like find the points on the tumblers. Nice kind of clunk as it takes. As you open the door, you hear essentially a few cans crashing down, where it sounds like they are artfully stacked next to the door so that if it opens, some noise is made.
Oh no. What do we do? Can we see it? Can we see in? Like, is there what can we? Other than like seeing the cans immediately, probably. Like, is it a big room? Is there anything to hide behind?
Yeah. So as you go in, it's basically just one kind of circular room. It's not like massive. It's just got kind of general, like some crates, some bits of like food, some general supplies. Kind of around at the far end, then you can basically see the stairs that go up, kind of around the outside of the central section. And in this room as well, there is a trapdoor that's not covered or hidden. Is basically the point that you can kind of tell they obviously go up and down a lot, and probably this access point to the excavations below. And you're kind of starting to hear movement from high up.
Okay. Sorry, go on.
How do they get in without knocking the cans over?
Through the trapdoor.
Oh.
They don't come in and out the front door then, I guess. Can I like look about and see if there's any. They don't happen to have left any of their cloaks or anything like clothing-wise just lying around down here, do they?
Yeah, make a quick roll. See what you can find.
Okay. I am going to study all of the stuff they've left around. And I have a 5.
Okay. Yeah. So you can kind of hear footsteps coming down the stairs, and yes, coming around through quick some boxes and stuff. You kind of find almost the last one you look at actually. You kind of open up, and it's basically just got a bunch of spare cloaks and kind of some blankets and some just like random other bits of assorted, probably lost property. A scarf, like a single glove.
I take the glove.
It does not match the glove that you've got one of.
No, and I'm so mad about it.
But, you know, if you just wanted another glove that you could wear.
It'll do for now.
Hang on, which hand glove did you give? Did Mittens use?
It would probably have been the left one.
The one that you just found is a right hand glove. So yeah, you've just got 2 right hand gloves.
Now I'm even angrier. Okay, the cloaks. I throw a cloak to Claudia, and I fling a cloak around myself quickly.
Can I pretend that I've just tripped over the cans, and I'll just be stacking them back up? If somebody's about to come down the stairs, unless you want to just run for it.
We can try and run for it, and then if it doesn't work, then we can try and pretend.
Yes, plan B of stacking cans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice
the important.
Thing.
Yeah.
Can stacking. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to go for the trapdoor.
Cool. I mean, yeah, if you're just opening it, it just opens from inside. As you do that at this point, are you just kind of opening and just diving down? I say diving down, as in there's a ladder that you can climb down. It goes too far for you to just jump.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Maybe they need to see us if they see us in our cloaks. Otherwise, they'll think that we're bads.
That is true.
So perhaps we just start to descend, but then maybe we could be like, "Oh, sorry, we just got sent here."
Yeah.
They didn't tell us about the cans. We knocked them over. Sorry.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, as you kind of make your way over to the trapdoor and start to descend, the kind of footsteps have been coming closer. Eventually, you see kind of a lantern. It's been pretty. The place is pretty dark. There's not much in the way of like ambient light inside. So obviously, the person walking with a lantern is a lot more light than you've been looking at. And he walks into the room to see the two of you. And who might you two be then?
So, sorry, we just got sent over with extra pairs of hands just to go help keep an eye on things. They didn't mention about the cans, so I'm sorry we disturbed you.
Yeah, they don't normally listen to my request when I ask for a couple of pairs of extra hands.
Oh no, they think you're doing great work and you're really important. They said they're really sorry. They just took a while to get around to it. That's all.
I mean, it's about time. I'm I'm a delight. I'm very, very useful. I do loads of good work around here.
What does he look like?
They told us.
What does he look like, though?
As it stands, you can't really see very well with the light. You can kind of see the rough outline of the cloak. Yeah, so yeah, we got some things really moving. Moving upstairs, and then a bit of organisation of some paper upstairs. So yeah, if you want to give me a hand.
We will absolutely do that, but first we have to do the thing that we were assigned to down there. You know, you know all about it. But then we were going to come back up and help you with your moving things.
Oh, what you been assigned to down there?
Well, what haven't we been assigned to down there? Anyway, time's getting on now, so
well, why don't I give you a quick hand and you can come and give me let's do that. Get it done nice and quickly. Give me a quick hand. It'll be fine. He kind of just starts walking over to the trapdoor.
okay. I am going to reach into my bag, and I am going to. How violent is this going to be?
If you don't want a violent, do have trance powder, but I think that just makes them sleepy.
That was one of my one of my options. I'm gonna throw trance powder at him.
Okay. Do you have a description of what trance powder?
I do.
Is?
It is a glittering blue powder, and it induces a pleasant hypnotic trance when inhaled.
Okay. In which case, yeah, make a roll. Probably to see how well you get enough trance powder near him to.
Okay. I'm going to use my fine aiming skills to throw with great finesse into his face, hopefully. It is a 4 and a 5.
Yeah, that'll do the job. Yeah, how does that work? How do you go about it?
So I just do a little stealthy rootle in the bag, and then the powder just coats his face, and he goes all wibbly wobbly as he is imagining whatever lovely things poor tower guards who get left alone with no help imagine. He's probably imagining that we've gone upstairs to help him move his stuff, I expect. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, he's just kind of walking towards the trapdoor, and presumably just as he comes close, it's just I see in his face.
In the face. Yes, and then I'm gonna back up the ladder, and I'm gonna see if there's use the scarf. There was a scarf. Use the scarf to tie him up, and then I'm gonna put the bloody glove in his mouth.
He's totally out of it. He's probably really into it. It's fine.
I mean, he has no clue what's going on. It's probably almost safer for him.
You can, if you tie him up, I'll just talk nice to him while you do.
Yeah, say nice things so he seems like a nice man. So yeah, tell him some nice things that he can be thinking about.
Okay, I know a leech. He's really cute. He's called Mr. Squishy, and he's about this big. But then he can suck blood, and then he gets like this big. And I'm just telling him nice things. You know, in lieu of me like describing explicit things on stream.
Yes.
Not that I ever would do that. No. Oh no! I've just realised how that Mr. Squishy thing sounds now. I'm so tired. When he gets full of blood, he gets bigger.
It could have been worse. It could have been Hayward or Mittens saying, "I have a friend called Mr. Squishy."
No. Oh dear. No, it wasn't intentional. Anyway, this guy that we're restraining.
Yeah. Can we like just like drag him behind one of the crates as well, so he's not like in eye shot of. Just so he's a bit hidden.
Yep, that sounds good. I think
Wonder if we can.
with the complication on the 5, it's not that much, but I'd say probably take one stress for having to do all of that whilst on a ladder, and the stress of Claudia glaring at you as you're the one to tie someone up again.
I would not. Can we bundle up his cloak under his head so that he's comfy and we can be like, have a nice sleep, Mr. Guardman? What does he look like? Now we've got the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest answer is probably not making it onto your list.
Have an okay sleep, Mr. Guardman. And I'm gonna mime stroking him instead, like.
Yeah, kind of quite rat-like almost is what you look at him and you kind of think. That sort of
Can I
person.
throw one of the spare cloaks over his head as well, just so I don't have to look at it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, okay. Great.
Let's get down the ladder.
Yes.
To defeat the Huns. Sorry. Anyway. That's the list of things I will edit out.
This episode's going to be 20 minutes long.
Alright, so as you go down the ladder, it's pretty dark for a lot of the journey. It's quite a long way down that you find yourself going. It's pretty dark for a lot of it, but if you look down, you can kind of see there is light kind of at the bottom. So you can kind of tell where you're going, and sort of it's obviously going down into down the ladder. As you kind of get to the bottom, there are then sort of occasional lanterns along the way, lighting the kind of stone sides of the mine, essentially, that you're in. With the normal kind of wooden support braces kind of dotted along, to stop the mine collapsing on you. And as it stands, he's basically kind of come down into, and there's a short little bit of tunnel, and then essentially it comes out into like a T-junction type thing, which you can kind of see around. And as it stands, there's basically a couple of tunnels, sort of left and right, that you can kind of see. There's obviously, I mean, right now you can't really see or hear anyone, but obviously like there's kind of bits of intermittent light, so you don't need to carry a lamp or anything, which also means that you wouldn't necessarily get that clue of light before someone approaches. Obviously things are quite echoey in a mine, so I guess footsteps are probably the main and one giveaway. And yeah, I mean, which way do you want to explore?
Okay. Do we hear anything from either direction?
As it stands, you can hear you can kind of hear similar things, to be honest, from either direction. So general little bits of sort of activity. It doesn't sound like it's bustling either way, but you got bits of people digging, occasional bits of sort of conversations. You can kind of hear there's a few people around, but it's not a super busy time for it. Clearly, obviously, it's kind of a night shift, and there's people kind of carrying on work, but there's not, as it stands, there's not kind of loads going on.
Okay. I guess we just pick a direction and stealth walk down it. Maybe. Left.
Cool.
We go left.
Yes.
We decisively go left.
As you decisively go left.
That's not even walking. I'm just doing like a cat impression at this point.
Yes, so you go left, and yeah, you're kind of walking down this kind of stretch of tunnel. When you get to the end of what you can see, you can actually see it kind of opens out into a larger, a bit of a larger kind of cavern there, and there's actually like a little cart tracks in the kind of cavern running down then to kind of 90 degrees to your right. You can kind of see in this area there's a bunch of kind of supplies around, and kind of some sort of piles of kind of dirt and rocks and stuff, and kind of a pile that's kind of to potentially processed to see if it's got anything more valuable in it, and yeah, obviously so they can kind of load it up with supplies and send it down and send back anything they need to get rid of. You can see there's also a route kind of up to the surface, from where you are, that might occasionally be used to kind of ship stuff up and down if they really need to. But obviously you don't really know where that leads. And it's kind of then sort of down this, then it seems like quite a long sort of passageway that obviously is quite crucial, hence why it's got a cart track laid down on it. And it's sort of down there properly. You can hear a few kind of bits of conversation, and kind of bits of activity. Currently, as it stands, you can see the track. There are no carts this side, this point on the track.
Okay.
just in case you were thinking about writing one.
I'm not going to say it, but I want to.
Yes, I phrased it badly. I realise that.
Alright, but so the track keeps going, does it? Like further into the mine?
Yeah.
Okay, so we could follow the track, potentially. Maybe it will take us to where we need to get to. Or should we stay away from the track if there's a route that the track doesn't go down? Because it might be less busy with people.
So that... Because where would they keep what we're looking for? Like, is the... Would the carts be where they're working? Like, would they go deeper? Or would they have taken out what we're looking for and put that somewhere else? Like when you mentioned stuff that needed processing, is there a processing area maybe?
Yeah, an area where they keep the stuff they've already looked at and they found what's valuable. How do we find this out? Who can we shake down to get this information? Are there any big rocks lying around?
I mean, yeah. I mean, how
I
big are
mean,
you
big,
looking for?
not like big enough for me to hold.
Small enough for you to hold.
Yeah, the right size for me to hold. And I'm enormous. Did I mention that?
You only hold things over a certain size if it's...
Flashback to when I was born and I was absolutely enormous. Okay, no, you know what I meant.
Roll to avoid hitting your head on the ceiling.
No, what I meant was a rock that is a size that is good for me to hold, but that if I were to like whack someone in a delicate area, that it might be like heavy enough to encourage them to talk.
I can do that with my feet though.
I know,
Provided it's a man, you know.
There's all these rocks lying around. I use what you have.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I'll grab a rock just in case I need one. Safety rock.
And you get attached to rocks, like when you're on the beach and you've just got to pick it up.
Yeah.
And keep it. It's that, yeah.
It's a pretty smashing rock.
If you... I suppose you got attached if you end up naming the rock.
Yeah.
Mr. Smashy.
Mr. Smashy.
Stick a couple of like googly eyes on it.
Yes. Okay. What if we find... Maybe we could kind of try and wander around like stealthily and see if someone isolates themselves, and then perhaps we could introduce them to Mr. Smashy.
Depending on how attractive they are. Cause...
Yeah, if they're not attractive, I'll introduce them to Mr. Smashy, and if they are attractive, I'll introduce them to Claudia.
Miss Smashy.
Are you going to introduce them to...
Miss Smashy.
I thought you were having like a twin approach of Mr. Smashy and Mr. Squishy, but apparently it's either Mr. Smashy or Miss Smashy. That's fine.
I mean, no, I'm not going to say it. We don't need to go there.
That seems wise.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can. So the tunnel with the cart kind of leads sort of down deeper into the mines. As you kind of carefully follow down to try and avoid, coming into contact with someone that you maybe not intending to. As you kind of start making your way down, you're kind of getting closer to where you can hear kind of people and activity. you pass a little kind of almost like a makeshift little door on the right, which kind of you can see kind of probably leads into like a little cavern. Kind of ahead, you can start to see some signs of what you suspect looks more like building rather than kind of general earth and rock. Kind of seeing potentially sort of the side, so not the kind of main way in. And it's kind of there that you're hearing a lot of kind of conversation, and clearly they're kind of around. And little bits of like people kind of running off and grabbing stuff and things like that. Normal activity. As you're kind of hearing that, you can kind of hear one person sort of heading roughly in the direction where you two are.
You're muted.
I'm muted. Okay.
I was wondering how long it would take to work out. Like you're both muted. Like I thought you were just having a conversation silently.
Yeah, I realised when I like mimed it. I was like, hang on, I'm muted as well.
Yeah. What did you say? You said something.
I just said you're muted.
Oh, it was just you muted. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I thought it was to do with the person coming towards us. Okay, there's a person coming towards us.
We're next to that cavern, though, aren't we? Is that empty? Like the little side room thing.
Yeah, is it empty?
Yeah, if there's no one in there, then.
Do you want to try the door?
Just a teeny little. Just a little.
I would say let's roll to see if this is kind of done in a way that wouldn't be heard.
Okay. Well, it's probably quite a delicate, fine operation to ease the handle of the door down and very gently.
Carefully finessing the door.
Yeah.
Open. Yeah.
All right. It's a 3 and a 5. 5 again.
Okay. Yeah, you carefully open a door very sneakily. How far were you going in? Were you just kind of poking your head in?
I just want to see how big this room is. Is there anyone in it?
Yeah, so you kind of slowly open a door and poke around. It's not massive, and just kind of as you begin, you can kind of see it's got some bits of supplies on the walls and some crates around, and kind of in the middle of the room, sort of slouched against the wall, you can see a person.
Unless we get this person.
Oh,
and
we
ignore
could.
the other person.
Yeah, make it. We do the thing where we look like we know exactly where we're going, and hope that the person coming towards us ignores us. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. I've got Mr. Smashy because it needs to be processed, so he doesn't know it's called Mr. Smashy. It's fine.
That would be strange if they knew. Yeah. So the guy's just kind of looking up at you. Obviously doesn't have any idea who you are. Doesn't really seem that interested.
Is there another exit in this room?
No, it's literally just like a little natural,
cupboard
like,
thing.
cavern that they kind of turned into a little cupboard.
Okay. I guess we go in and shut the door behind us. Okay.
All right. You two wanna break too?
Yeah. Busy time out there.
Yeah. bit too busy
How's-
for me, but
How's your shift going?
you know, could be worse. I mean, at least there's something to do now. That's not just hit rocks and expand tunnels, you know. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, we're mostly just looking at the rocks though. Still, like
uh,
it's
you must be new then.
yeah. So how do we get to do something else?
I mean, just do a good job looking at rocks for a while,
Okay.
you know. Be discreet, you know, and stuff.
Yeah.
Just
What do you go up to after the looking at rocks bit?
well, you go up to looking at people looking at rocks,
Uh-huh.
and you go up to people looking at people looking at people looking at rocks. I might have skipped a grade there. No, I don't think I did. I might have done.
Is that what you were doing then? You were looking at people looking at people looking at people looking at rocks.
No, right now I look at people who look at rocks.
All right.
But you know, since they found the building, one of those old heathen temples, you know, just want to get in. You know, without bringing everything down. So
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
got a little bit of the way, but yeah, still, you know, so you got to carefully pick your way through. You know how minds work. Yeah. Oh, sorry. What was your name?
It's Agnes.
And who's your friend?
Emily.
Oh, I thought from the way you were sounding a bit suspicious there, I thought you two might not be
Oh, I'm really tired. I'm sorry.
friends. Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, we've looked at a lot of rocks today. Like,
I nearly said my name was Rock. Seen so many rocks.
Hi, yeah, well, you know, it's reasonably close to honest work. As close as you get in the city anyway. And, you know, worst things looking at rocks, so you know, I'd just say keep going at it. You know, do your job well, and you probably get promoted. You know.
have you had a good look at the temple? How far they've got in the temple?
No, I'm not. I'm not anywhere near you know, important enough to get a proper look in that place. So you know, I kind of helped find them. So you know, that's always good. And yeah, I've been around. I know they've you know, they managed to get in, and you know, I think that's kind of you know, I think obviously like the roof's coming and everything, and some of the walls, and just kind of, you know, general you know, earth and stuff. So you know, I think they have found their way through quite a bit of it though. I think that's quite a lot that they can in some way either see or get to. So I mean, there's quite a bit to it as well. We don't. I mean, you can kind of see, you know, if you go out right, and then you know, look down there, you can see the wall, but it's not the corner, and I don't think we've got this far down. So, but you know, it might just
So
be.
if we went that way, we could get a little look at it.
I mean, you probably could, right? So you know, but you know, they've been a bit funny about it. So I'd be careful about it. But yeah, if you know, you go out here, turn right and then turn right again. You can't go down and then left. That's where the front door is, and that's where they've been able to kind of get that open enough to be able to get in. and is trying to pick their way then through the kind of entrance area into like the kind of main hall bit, and obviously there's kind of rooms off to the side and stuff. I know they've obviously they've not properly got through the main hall. They've got access to some of it and some of the rooms around the side. So yeah, but to be honest, like I was on shift when we found it, and it wasn't long before we were kind of being shipped off elsewhere. Some of the big wigs coming down. So I mean, I look at people who look at rocks, right? You have to be at least a person who looks at people, who looks at people, who looks at people, who looks at rocks to be allowed in there, at least. So, most of us are just kind of ferrying stuff down for them and doing other bits to help support and, try and make sure that nothing bad happens when they're excavating. But, it's an interesting find at least. Strange kind of seeing some of the old gods.
I don't know anything about it. I thought it'd be interesting to go and have a look. It'd be quite fun to see it. We don't want to get in trouble though, because we love looking at rocks.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, yeah, I'd be careful.
yeah, maybe if we took something down there, we could get a look. We might be able to get a little look. Took some supplies down to him. I just want to see it. It sounds amazing.
Well, don't. As long as you don't tell anyone that I made the suggestion. But I mean, there's a few options around here if you wanted to, grab a couple of tools or something to take down, or there's some food here.
Yeah.
If you want to grab some of that and take it down for them, it's up to you. I'm not sure that rock's going to be interesting enough for them.
I grabbed some of the food, and maybe tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like the
the
look
same.
of this rock. I thought it was nice. I thought it was really nice one.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if they're not using it for anything, no one can argue with it. It's good that you got such a passion for rocks. I can see why they hired you.
Oh, I love rocks. Yeah,
Mm,
that's how I got the job. Because I love them.
Look
at it.
Same.
It's all knobbly. Look how knobbly it is.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of rock myself.
All right then. Well, thanks very much. Best get back to it now. Thank you.
What's your name?
Well, to be honest, I don't really want to say, given I've suggested you do this.
No, I'm not gonna tell them. It's just I wanted to say you were a nice man.
Oh, I mean that's awful kind of you. My name's Harper.
What does Harper look like?
Average. Yeah, quite a big guy. Generally, not super looking after himself, but obviously hitting things with rocks for a while. He's sort of in reasonable shape at least. Nothing particularly fancy, and given it's a mine essentially, quite grimy, because I was avoiding saying dirty because someone
Well.
that's a good joke. I enjoyed that.
Well, Harper, you were a good man. You and your interest in rock.
Yeah, Good to meet you, Agnes and Emily. Right, I'll
To meet you.
I'll make sure there's put in a good word for you when it gets to your appraisals.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks very much.
He just kind of goes back to leaning against the wall. Clearly, you can see kind of next to him there's like a time glass that they basically use, and he's kind of watching it as it's not got that much sand left in the top half, and he's just kind of watching it like, oh, and that goes to the bottom. I've got to get up and go back to work.
Okay.
The the footsteps you're kind of hearing gone past, and kind of heading up to kind of where you come from.
Okay. I guess we take our supplies and leave Harper to his break and head in the direction that he said.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So, so you turn right, you can see, and then, you can basically see what is essentially a wall. It's reasonably well preserved. And you can turn right and follow that down. It's kind of from there, then you can hear a lot of the conversations and the work kind of happening in that sort of area. If you were to kind of follow down further and then turn left, you'd then get to the front door. Which, if you're going for that, then you can kind of see a couple of people sort of stood outside with just like a bunch of papers they're kind of flicking through and kind of scribbling some notes, and kind of hearing bits of like information and stuff kind of shouted out from kind of inside that they're kind of clearly reacting to as they're kind of adding notes to what they're hearing.
So is anyone actually going in the door to the temple?
In terms of people there currently there's not. Like you if you stay for long enough, you'd probably see someone come out and the odd person kind of walking in and out and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's kind of open. It's not like the front doors don't fully open. Like one of them they can open enough that you can kind of shimmy, squeeze through.
All right.
And so like they're kind of not doing that. They're trying to do that as few times as possible. Generally speaking, so you wouldn't have an issue kind of squeezing through, but it's obviously more effort than just walking through a door, which is mainly why they've just got a couple of people outside taking notes, and occasionally like someone will come out and have a bit of a chat with them.
Okay. Is there anywhere like obvious near the door where they're like putting supplies, or people are like putting food or anything like that?
Not food, but like there's kind of just outside there's like odd random tools that they might use, because there's not like massive room inside, so they're kind of handing things out outside and not necessarily storing everything inside, so there's kind of just stuff against the wall.
Do we try to say they need the tools inside and just try and persuade them to get inside, or do we try and distract them away from the door while we are taking the tools down there?
I can consort and sway, so I feel like I can do both those things, but unless you're thinking like distraction, loud distraction.
I don't know.
Try and persuade them that we're taking the stuff to the inside. It's very important. Yes. And we could distract them with the food if we need to at the same time and be like, well, we've been sent to give you these things.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
So just doing that thing where you pretend you belong there.
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of then, so are you just taking them in, or are you just trying to leave them?
We're trying to take them in. We want to get in.
Yeah, we're gonna try and say we don't have to say anyone told. We don't have to give names. We can just say we got told to.
Yeah.
Bring you these things. It's vitally important.
Yeah. We're supposed to take the tools into the temple.
That's fine. Make a roll for how effectively you give off the appearance of belonging. How well does this get performed? Although, of course, there's no performance check in this game. And you can make it a group action potentially.
Yeah,
if you
because it could.
prefer to link your successes.
Yeah. If it's a sway or
Yeah,
something
if
like
it's
that,
a sway,
that's
persuasive.
that's not my area. So
Mhm.
what would I do for that? Do I roll 2 and take the lowest?
What's your?
I've got nothing in
You
it.
got nothing in sway, yeah. So, roll 2 and take the lowest. If your result is a 1 to 3, then Claudia takes 1 stress, and Claudia, you also roll your skill.
Yeah, I've got. Yeah.
Okay. I got a 6 and a 5.
How do group actions work? So do we take the highest result of all?
The highest we collect, highest roll collectively. So, so you got a 6 and a 5. So with no dots, then it's a 5. Is
I'm very glad it works that way because I rolled 2 ones.
Ooh.
I'm so glad that was a group action.
Yep. That could have gone badly.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna pretend that we're walking.
It's just us, Agnes and Emily, just walking with our tools and our food, like we got told.
Claudia, you take 1 stress for you rolling a 1.
Me rolling bad, yeah. How stressful.
And you kind of successfully pull off your strut, confident walk, well enough that they're not going to stop you, but one of the people writing things down just calls quite loudly out to you. Are you delivering the supplies that they requested? Have you got what have you got on you?
I'm carrying the tea. I'm just holding a flask of tea.
These tools.
Oh,
We were told to take them inside. It's very important, and they said that we had to go quickly or we'd get into serious trouble. So.
Oh yes, just quickly call out what they are.
The tools that were requested.
Yes, just quickly call them out. I just need a quick note.
Oh well, there's this one, and there's this one, and there's this one, and this one.
Okay, wonderful. There's tool delivery coming in. Carry on. and that kind of conversation, you see someone who's kind of inside turns around to see the two of you. Wonderful. Tool delivery.
Yes, that's right. Yes, they said we had to take them all the way in very urgently.
Wonderful. Yes. Thank you very much. He goes to collect the tools.
Okay. And of course, we also have brought the food and tea delivery.
Yes. I mean, you can just leave the tea and the food down. There's a convenient kind of little ledge on the side that he's just kind of gesturing to for you to kind of put the food and the tea on.
They did also say that there were some things that we needed to take back with us. Do we get those from you?
No, we've got nothing to send out. We just sent the person out with things we need to.
But they just told us that we have to take something else back. So we'll get in trouble if we don't take it back. Does somebody else have it?
No, there's nothing else that needs taking out. They must be on old information. What were they? A person who looks at people who look at people who look at rocks?
No, it was a person who looks at people who looks at people who looks at people who looks at rocks.
I mean, was it Jim?
Is he the one with the? You know, the one with the.
I mean, it's a bit. Did you say what it is that you need to collect?
He said they'd tell us when we get here.
Fucking Jim, right? I mean, there's nothing. Well, he gestures for you to follow him, and so as you kind of go in, you can kind of see sort of an entry, sort of like an entrance hall, kind of foyer area. There's obviously kind of bits off to the sides and rooms, and then there's kind of two more grand double doors in front, which again are kind of one of them they've actually pretty much managed to open, and there's a lot of kind of debris and rubble in that main hall, and that's kind of where he leads you down. And so as you go in, there's kind of like two routes currently that you can kind of see. So there's kind of a path they've carved out to the left, and then to the right kind of leads right just down the edge of the kind of main hall building part of this building, and kind of then goes all the way down the side there into another little door. He's kind of led you all the way down there, and it's then in this kind of random little side room that he's kind of taking you down. There's just kind of random stuff around with a bunch of rocks in this little room, and he picks up like this like half broken little statue with like, you know, a stag on it with like a couple of the legs missing and only one of the antlers, and a little like wooden carving that's not very good. And he just kind of picks the two of them up, and like, I mean the first one was just kind of made of wood as well. He just kind of picks the two of them up and like, what will these do? I'm sure they'll be fine.
I don't know. He's.
Well, I mean,
I don't want to get in trouble with Jim.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing we need to send, but if you just need to take something so it, you know, it looks like you're doing what you need to do.
Can I just ask, have we seen as we're like I've been looking, like flashback to looking as he was like leading us right like into the place and then down this area, like through the room and then down the corridor, has there been like have I seen anything where the thing might be, or
Why don't you make a roll to see
how good
well
my
you're
looking?
Yeah.
Okay. I would study it with my studious eyes.
Studiously studying
Yeah.
in a studying manner. Yeah.
In a very studying manner. It's a 5 again.
Makes sense. Yeah. So what you're actually kind of picking up. So from what you've seen as you've gone down, obviously he's picked up a couple of random things in this room that they've got that look like fairly minor things. However, there is a little route through. You can kind of there's kind of a couple of rocks are. You can kind of almost like crawl under, and you can see another door through there. And you suspect you're kind of getting towards the sort of more like treasury-like areas of this building.
Okay. Okay.
Is there many people around where we are? Is it just the three of us?
Right now, it's just the three of you. Yeah. There were more people. You kind of walked past some people in like the main hall. So there was one person who'd gone to the left. You kind of hear them trying to dig out a path down the left side, similar to what they've done on the right hand side. And some kind of it's like a couple of people working on that, and a couple more people kind of chatting. And kind of right at the entrance hall, they kind of set up some tables, and someone was going through and like cataloguing things. So just different items there, kind of doing all that kind of noting and marking it and calling it out to the scribes that you saw on the door.
Tired brain is slow. He's got these statues, right? So how big is this room, and does it have a door on it?
So in terms of like accessible space in this room, it's not very wide, so like maybe two people can stand like next to each other just about on the bits that you can get, and then goes forward a few meters, and then you've kind of got a rock section that you can kind of crawl under, and then a little bit then it's just past there there's then a door that potentially is through.
Okay. Oh god, I feel like it's shit or bust at this point.
I have just looked at what I have. I feel like this is questionable. One of my things I can have in my load is documents. Can I just pull out some documents and be like, look, you're not giving us the right stuff. Take us to the good stuff. We're important people. I mean, if I had actually managed to see that on my list earlier. In my defense, it's between arcane implements and subterfuge supplies, which sound much more interesting. Documents.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I guess it depends on what do you want the documents to do, because presumably like you don't have pre-made documentation that says where these people are, we're trying to find this exact thing in this exact context. So it would be reasonable that you kind of got to a point you're like, okay, let's just kind of forge up some documents that we could use, at a point having got a kind of sense of it. We could cover it in a flashback to say,
kind of like flashback to us.
At which point, probably roll to see how well you forge some documents.
Oh god, I can't forge documents. Yeah, We could do that in a flashback, right?
Yes, I
Now-
think take one stress. Take one stress.
Okay.
Cover it with a roll to see how good they
Now-
are, in the sense that will he believe it?
I don't have any useful skills. Because would it be... What skill would you even use to forge documents? Is it finesse? I mean, it doesn't make a difference because I've got no...
Could it be-
tinker?
Could it,
Depending on
or
like,
could it be a way if you're like writing something really persuasive?
I think it's more the kind of mechanics though of forging it, of how persuasive it is, rather than
How convincing the actual paper looks.
yeah.
Okay.
You could maybe study, which also is not useful if you're able to kind of find, existing documentation and kind of use that as study that to then create.
Whichever skill it is, it's like a disadvantaged one anyway, so let's just study, I guess. Oh, well, I rolled a 5 and a 6, so that's okay, right?
That's pretty good, yeah. Cool. So, take one stress.
And a stress. Wait, is that the stress from the flashback? Or...
Sorry, yeah.
Oh, I've done the flashback stress.
Oh, great.
I was colouring it in.
Nice.
Just neatening it up.
So yeah, how are you planning now on using said documentation?
Do we just be like, okay, look, we didn't want to make this a big deal. That's why we came down with the tools and the tea and all the nice things, but we're pretty important. So just take us to what you know what we need to see.
I mean, you are wearing cloaks of people who look at rocks.
We're trying to be subtle about this. We don't want everyone to know who we are.
I mean, you do just look like people who look at rocks, but
Do you think that people who just look at rocks would have these documents?
I have in my kit that doesn't cost any like weight, fine clothes and jewelry. Can I just I don't want to say can I just flash him, but can I just be like, excuse me? Does that count? I also have a disguise kit.
yeah. I mean, is it in italics? I mean, you're not really using it though, are you? So it doesn't actually make much difference either way. But yeah, that would make sense if you're just kind of being like, I mean, these are my real clothes.
Yeah, just gonna flash the guy in a in a not weird way.
I think you made it weird.
Yeah, fine. Well, what else do you call it when you? I don't know.
You don't. He got flashed. It's canon now.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, I thought people normally had to pay for that, so.
They do.
It's all right. We'll send him an invoice afterwards.
Yeah.
I too have documents. I draw up an invoice.
I mean, we've obviously found a lot in here. Did they did they give any more detail about what they were looking?
Can we flash back to when Eli came round?
Mm-hmm.
And after he posted the map through the door, which is my preferred way of communicating with him. He stays out there, and I stay inside. I opened the door again, and I said, "Draw us a picture of the thing."
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Did you not just push a note underneath the door?
no,
said,
no, but I did slam it in his face again and make him post it back through the
Oh,
letterbox.
yeah.
That seems reasonable. Yeah. Yeah, he obviously did a sketch of. You kind of see him take it and looks quite surprised when he finds a nice lantern to hold. Oh, this thing.
What does he look like, just out of interest? It's good to know what people you flash look like.
He looks like a person. Yeah, probably decent looking, high up enough that he can look after himself reasonably well and isn't doing super kind of grimy work. Keeps himself in shape, kind of thing. Like,
These things are important to know.
nothing special, but like decent looking. Yeah, he's just kind of looking at it. Well, have fun getting to this one. He gestures for you to follow. Kind of ducks, crawls under the bit of rocks. Established, kind of at the end, then forces the door open. And it then leads into. It actually leads into a more open room, so it's one that's kind of actually not been too badly affected by time and such. That kind of looks like it's more like then the treasury of this temple, or one of them. You see there's some kind of gold stuff in the corner, which is all kind of being kind of carefully reviewed by quite an official looking person there, and there's kind of various other sort of bits of artifacts and kind of items strewn around, and on the side is a box that's kind of similar size to a briefcase but a bit wider, with some kind of holes on the front, kind of three of the shapes matching what you've seen.
Okay, and it's just the three of us in. Is it just the three of us in the room?
No, there's another person.
There's another person.
There's
another person in the corner.
Kind of cataloguing gold. He kind of sees the three of you come in, but kind of obviously knows the person that you're with. He doesn't really care that much about who you are right now, and just kind of looks at them and goes, alright, goes back to cataloguing and stuff.
Well, this is what we're here for.
Yeah, I mean, it's a strange item. It's not something we have really seen before. Everything else seems normal, it just seems quite weird. Sorry, Ebenezer, Are you done? They're collecting this box. Do you need to use catalog or anything? The guy who's kind of doing all of that turns around quite sharply. I'm sorry, they're doing what? I specifically said nothing gets taken out of this room.
I'm very sorry, but I think you'll find that we've got documents to say that that's exactly what we're here to do.
I mean, any documentation to authorize removing things from this room would have to be authorized by me, and I'm not authorizing that, so clearly someone's been giving you misinformation. I bet it's that prick Jim again.
What does Ebenezer look like?
Sort of kind of late 40s, kind of middle-aged, very thin, kind of person, sort of white hair, very, well, I don't want to say very nerdy looking in that sense, but clearly spends a lot of his time looking at historical things and doesn't have much patience for, living people.
Now I'm better at consort and sway, but can I try and command him to let us,
I mean,
like in a sort of I'm better than you, do what I say kind of way? Is it worth it?
Sure.
Shall I try and do it?
Let's do it and worry about the consequences afterwards.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's no good. Yeah, 4 is still the best.
okay.
I rolled a 1 and a 3. I'm sorry about the stress, Carrier.
That is fine. What do you say to command him?
Ebenezer, I know you've had fun lording it over everyone down here, but we don't take kindly to being refused. So I'd rather you stopped asking questions and just did what we said.
So he looks quite surprised at such a bold and abrasive tone from kind of just around the corner. You haven't yet noticed there's kind of an extra person who is one of Ebenezer's lackeys, who kind of almost out of instinct, hearing someone addressing, takes a bit of a swing at you with a like a kind of baton, basically.
People normally have to pay for that.
Well, she's
What does she look like?
I mean, right now, because she's come kind of from behind where you were, unknown.
I kind of do want to know, though.
So, yeah, take level 2 harm.
Wow.
broken arm.
Oh my god.
As she
I don't know where I put harm. Yeah, like
goes
there.
to kind of swing again, you kind of see Ebenezer go and hold his hand out, kind of go, no, it's fine if they need to take it. But no, if you've been wasting my time taking this unnecessarily, I'm sure she'll find many more things to break.
I don't want to start a fight, but I'm feeling a lot of emotions right now.
Let's take the
Yeah, let's take the thing and run.
let's take the thing and let's go, shall we?
The guy that's kind of led you through is already like gathering up and is like, let's get the fuck out of here, I'm done. And is already like kind of gathering and going, okay, thanks. Clearly feeling like he's in the middle of something that he does not want to be in the middle of. As you kind of turn around with the box, essentially is reasonably well dressed, just over 6 foot, and incredibly hench woman, just kind of twirling the baton and just staring at you.
I'm so into her. Like, you don't even. There's so many emotions right now. Can you consult someone with your eyes?
You know what? Let's say yes.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing on the
What
way
are you-
out.
what are you
Wait,
trying
do
to
I?
consult?
I just wanna be like, you broke my arm, but like, I'm not even that mad. Like, if I could communicate where she could find me, I would.
Yeah, fair. Make a roll for it.
Is it when you take 2 level 2 harm that you lose a dice, or?
I might double check this afterwards,
'Cause
but I think it's
am
only on like relevant rolls.
Oh, okay. So if I was trying to do anything with my arms,
Yeah,
I'm
Oh,
consorting with my eyes.
yeah. So I think you're fine with
Oh, okay.
consulting with your eyes.
Do you not just hate to see 6s at the worst time? I rolled a 2 and a 6. Where was that when, like, we needed it?
I mean, she's slightly surprised that you're into it, but
She works for Ebenezer. Why is she surprised? He's clearly into that kind of shit.
yeah, but she's used to him, and she doesn't normally actually, break things.
I'm not really into the break-in as such. I'm just kind of into the...
Yeah, she gets the vibe. She might be paying you a visit at some point.
Yeah. Connections. Not necessarily useful, but connections nonetheless.
Cool. Well, in all of that, yeah, the guy that was leading you is quite hurriedly trying to kind of lead you back out and get away from a situation he does not want to be in the middle of at all. So yeah, it kind of takes you back out. The route that you came in, and points down. Actually, the other way is kind of I'm sure Jim. I mean, it probably wasn't for Jim, was it? It's fine. Oh, they're just checking this out. He kind of gestures to the scribes, and they kind of go, Interesting. In that weirdly over the top way. Interesting. But yeah, he's kind of going back to work inside the temple, and they've just kind of made some notes, and yeah, sounds no one's following you.
Okay. Let's
Run.
choose it.
Yeah. No, because as soon as nobody's around, I'm just gonna be like, "Ow, my arm."
Oh, I mean, I am a doctor and I can treat wounds, so I don't know what that means mechanically, but my thing is that, and in addition to my healing treatment role thing, I can also tinker to treat wounds. But
Ooh.
I don't know how that works actually in the game.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I might have to look that up.
I mean, I'm mostly right
Can
now
we-
being a.
Can we at least
Runaway.
assume that I can in some way make it less hurty?
Yeah, that seems fair. Yeah, make a tinker roll.
Okay. It's
So-
a 4 and a
four.
6.
Oh, yay! I was gonna say it'd be hilarious if it's a 1.
No, it's a 6.
No, that bit in Harry Potter too, where the bones are gone.
Oh yeah, no.
So that's a
No.
1.
Oh no. Yeah, I didn't do that, thankfully.
No, that was pretty successful. Made it hurt a lot less.
I just imagine you've got morphine in your bag of fun things.
There are lots of fun things in my bag of fun things.
Cool. I'll look up exactly what that 6 has technically done. But it seems a lot less painful for you now, so that's good. And yeah, if you make your way back to where you came in, up the ladder, you can see a guy who you left tied up on the floor, clearly having a great time, completely out of it.
Can we untie him so that he'll just wake up and think he's gone a bit doolally, and not that somebody weirdly assaulted him with hallucinogens.
Seems fair. He's got no idea what's going on.
All right, I'll have the glove back as well, just so that I can.
Oh, it's been in his mouth.
No, that's fine. I'll sterilize it. I've got chemicals,
Oh,
but I just want to use it as a reminder that somebody still owes me a glove.
before you sterilize it, slap him in the face with it. Not this guy.
No, not this guy.
Obviously. Mm.
Not this guy.
Oh,
That's
thanks
an
very
excellent
much,
idea.
Talking Coyote.
Is he out of it enough to? No, I'm not going to slap him across the face. I'm just in a weird mood now that I've been assaulted.
Come on, let's get you back. Let's get you back, Claudia.
Yeah, this is
We'll-
I've
we'll
had too
fix
much
you up.
pineapple juice. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
So I'm angry now.
Yeah, I mean, he is completely out of it, but probably best if you don't slap him across the face. But
He was a nice man. He was nice.
He was
I hope-
alright, man.
I hope they send someone to help him move his things.
they 100% won't. Just
No, I know. I don't really
No.
care that much.
Alright. Fair enough. Just want to make sure you're aware. Yeah, and presumably slip back out the door. You can't really put the cans exactly back where they should be, but I mean, he's been out of it. You could probably just believe it. He did it himself. But
Yeah.
having left the gate as it was, you can see that the chains have kind of dropped a bit from where they were. But as you're able to just kind of leave and click it all back into place as it was, that's not really an issue. At which point, yeah, that's kind of the end of the score. You have been successful. Well done. And in terms of like things that have happened, like I don't think any heats will be taken. It's not a high profile or well connected target. Oh, it is. They are quite. Yeah, they are high profile and well connected. There'll be one heat on that. That's it. Just one heat. So that is good news.
Is that no one dead? Did I hear? No houses burned down?
No one dead. No house burned down.
We don't smell like horse. We haven't.
No one smells like horse.
We haven't been inside a horse.
Nope. None of those things. So, doing great. And of course, with
I go to cheer and my arm is just like.
With the requested box on hand, you can take it back to the house, where Eli is in kind of one of the studies, waiting for you.
In.
Sorry.
Who let you in?
I have a key. This is my house.
Oh, for goodness sake! Get on with it then.
I knock out of politeness, not because I can't get in. Anyway, done a wonderful job here. I think we should be in a more celebratory mood. He pours a glass of brandy for you, and a glass of very nice wine for you, Claudia. And he's there with the whiskey. To our successes, this is a very exciting moment for us all. Kind of clinks as a bit of a and then the kind of three keys that you've picked up, you kind of place them one by one into the kind of corresponding holes. Like a child's puzzle.
What an interesting bonding experience this is.
As he does that, kind of places those three in, flicks the box open, and at that point, Eli just kind of disappears from in front of you.
God for that, he's gone.
Oh.
And that's where we'll call it for tonight.
Thanks so much for joining for today's episode. Don't forget, you can see a link to previous episodes on screen. The next episode will be live on Twitch on the 25th of October. Till the next time I see you, I hope you have a great day.